Hello everyone, it's Chocolate here. My gear recommendations for rank 13-4 are finally finished. It took me a bit after world release because it was so close to CB and I've got a lot going on IRL at the moment, so that's mine. But now it's finished and I finally managed to find a way to add a mobile tab. So check it out, try it out. I only tested it with a couple browsers and emulated phone versions, so it might not work for everyone, but hopefully it works for most people, which is all that I can hope to accomplish with this. But yeah, at least it's not as cancerous as it was before to view on mobile. So let's get into the proper guide here. So starting off with Rima, we're going to see a pattern here. Many or almost all the tanks got TP retain gear on 13-4, so almost all of them want to go up now. There's actually only a very few units that don't want to go up to 13-4, and I'm going to note those. And also those where it's kind of close. Everyone else I'm just going to kind of skim over because it's fairly simple this time at least. So Rima 13-4. She loses a slight little bit of accuracy, but it really doesn't matter because her UB cycle is sped up quite a lot in PvP now, and it's very nice with her overall tankiness as well. Miyako R13 is strictly better on all fronts for her. Kuka, she has a trade-off because rank 12 was so good for TP boost, but the TP retain kind of makes up for it, as well as the increased tank stats overall. Once her UE comes out, she's going to be really good in stall teams or just generally on defense. Her only flaw basically being that she doesn't taunt as fast as New Year Ray. But yeah, for her, she should be able to get her first UB out a lot of the time, unless she's super focused down, just because the extra tank stats and also the heal from her UE kind of turn her into more like a Miyako than the usual Kuka, where she doesn't need to get to her UB or just doesn't do much. So for her, this trading TP boost for TP retain is fine, and everything else just helps her stay alive. For Jun, another one where 13-4 gives TP retain. Some who really want to get the earliest first UB she can get might want to keep her R11 still, if they still have her at that, but I don't think you guys need to be told that. So for her, Jun, it's basically just 13-4, because it's more tank stats, it's added TP retain, and in terms of heals, she alt heals R11 now. So yeah, not really much reason to keep her R11 unless you have some secret info I don't have. For Okuka, once she comes out, she's the first proper dedicated mage tank. Like, she does magic damage and she also buffs mage teams, so she's kind of like Kuka for mage teams, which haven't had anything like that before, which is very nice. So you don't always have to use Ilya tank or Anna tank with Misato to keep her alive, which is kind of nice since we do get Kyoka and Ilya UE in the next batch, which kind of makes us want to have a proper dedicated mage tank from time to time, depending on what else we use. For Kaori, just 13-4 is better. New Year Ray, she loses some TP boost and gains TP retain, but the extra tank stats on R13 make it worth it overall, and that's just a pattern we're going to see a lot of this time. Pekorin, same as New Year Ray, except she doesn't lose accuracy, so it's even better for her. Ruka, she can go 13-4 for PvP, but for CB she should either stay 11-5 or 11-6 if you have the mid-right equipped, and rank 12 is also fine for the most part, I think. It's just that there's some dodge RNG there, even after the accuracy increase for bosses. But yeah, she's in a, I don't know, decent spot still. Gonna see use probably, but not the most amazing cool unit we have at the moment with all the other stuff coming out. Nozomin, 13-4, she's just very good at rank 13, very nice. Muimi loses some TP boost. It could theoretically be an issue where she comes out of UB one action faster, but I don't think that happens in any of the timelines for next CB, and I don't think it's really worth it either, because the increase to her damage kind of outweighs any potential timing issues that she may have. Makoto, rank 13-4, just more damage for her, makes R11 and R9 even more obsolete, so I don't really think R9 is worth it at all. R11 may be worth it, I don't know, I haven't found any timelines where it's usable, but just in case, some might keep R11. But R13, very nice, just really high damage, really high lifesteal, so she's kind of transforming into that ultimate Makoto form where she is starting to dish out DPS just as well as she does shred while also staying alive. Just very nice overall that we now probably don't have to worry about ranks for her anymore. And Hiyori R13, same with Oninon. I'm gonna add some more to her. We probably get her for next CB, but considering summer is around the corner, it's probably not a good idea to pull her unless you're a whale. Like, she's nice and she does some cool stuff, but overall I don't really think it's worth it to pull for her unless absolutely a fan of Ninon or you really like her as a CB unit. For Akino, rank 13, Matsuri, rank 13. She was kind of unimpressive until now, but finally her shards are in shop, so it's much easier to 5-star and max UE her, which does boost her usefulness a little bit, but mostly I just see her being used once we get the next UE batch, where with Kukan we're probably going to see a lot more of these backline heavy defenses with 2 tanks, where she can just bypass the tanks and shred through the backline, which makes her kind of more of an offensive unit now, but we'll have to see. Still gonna need to trial with her a little bit more since I've now actually built her. So Eriko, rank 13 most likely, but she should just be left unbuilt until she actually sees use because of how she works. Ayane can also probably go 13-4, but she won't see use next CB, I think, so just leave her as is in case R12 is needed for the extra HP drain to make her safer. Mugi, she loses a ton of accuracy, but I think the TP retain and extra stats are worth it. Like, at 13-3 I noticed Mugi is just getting progressively weaker, like back when she could be kept R9 and we started approaching higher ranks. Like, it's kind of similar to that, where the raw stats just outweigh this accuracy, where if the accuracy matters, that's just bad luck at that point, since she does need the other stats more. Hiyori R13, Misogi R13, Ayane just stays R12 and should only be brought up if absolutely necessary for a timeline where she's used. Otherwise R12 is probably where she's needed, since I don't really see much use for her outside of interrupting boss CBs, like we did CB14 for example, where due to CR's fuck up we had the old CB2 Minotaur skills, or skill cycle and UB skill values, and we ended up running double Ayane on phase 1. For Tamaki, she does lose TP boost and I can see it being an issue sometimes, but I think for her it's just a matter of, to be useful she needs R13, otherwise there's no point. Tomo, R12, at least for 4-star for sure. 12-5 especially, and if yours is already 12-6, I better hope midlife isn't fully refined, or at least you've kept her rank at level 125, otherwise yeah, sad days, some timelines won't work. For 5-star she can most likely go to 13-4, I'm not really 100% sure, so make sure for yourself that she won't be needed at R12 before going up, but yeah, with her it's basically 4-star can stay R12 and 5-star most likely can go R13 for extra damage, if she's even used at 5-star. Like, that's still a question that needs to be answered. As Tama, R12, not really used at the moment, but there's still the issue where she does lose some timings at R13, so for her it's not really worth going up. Eriko, R13 strictly better. As Pekko, loses accuracy, but again, she does need the raw damage from R13 to stay relevant. Kurumi, R13, it's really good rank for her. Jita, yeah, hopefully your Jita is still R11 for one strat for C5 next TB, otherwise 13-4 is just higher damage overall for most of the timelines, I think. The issue with R13 is that she can't get UB after just Whiteblade and her boost skill. Like with R11 she immediately gains UB on the boost skill, with R13 she needs another auto attack unless she gets incoming damage or gets boosted by like Vishizu or something. But that doesn't matter really usually because she still has the perfect timing for her next UB, so it doesn't really matter normally. For Rei, she needs 13-4 now, mainly to stay relevant in terms of damage. Usually R12 doesn't give you the early UB where you can cancel counter slash the first time around, so it doesn't really matter. Usually she's paired with Jita anyway, so she does get the counter strike for sure, which means R13 is the way to go in my opinion. Shizuru, yeah, for her R13-4 is almost strictly better in all ways except maybe some accuracy, but who cares. Chrissy, R13, she should have already been R13 and 13-4 just adds more damage, so yeah. Ex-Kurumi R13, Mimi R13, even though she loses accuracy and DP boost, she just, yeah, the extra damage makes it better in my opinion, although obviously if you are looking to save some resources you can keep her R12, but I think by the time we get her UE badge where she actually gets used again, I think that's where R13-5 is going to be used anyway for her, so no real reason to stay low unless you want to be super safe. Shinobu, 11-5 or 11-6 depending on what you have, is probably the best option for her use as a shredder, but if you want to min-max damage then 13-4 is also an option. Also obviously if Skull Daddy needs to be a little bit more tanky then 13-4 is also an option over R11 because that does give him a little bit more tankiness. There was some mention about Skull Daddy level 127 for 5-star, but I couldn't really find anything about that, so I'm just gonna put it there if you want to observe that and watch out for it, I guess you can. Vishizu, nothing really changes with her, should still be rank 12 in some capacity, ideally 12-4 or 12-5, but yeah, nothing changes for her for a long time, she should just stay as is. Mahiru, rank 12. Yukari, still rank 12, same as Vishizu, just she should stay here. Not really worth going up. And yeah, unless you're a PvP player, but sorry, I'm not gonna spend much time on that because for Yukari it's probably just max rank for PvP anyway. Monika, kind of in the Mimi situation where she loses accuracy and TP boost, but her overall damage and tankiness makes up for it at R13, but yeah, kind of low priority. With Ninon, it's more in the range of being up to preference because for her the accuracy loss can be an issue sometimes if you rely on her to hit certain targets, for sure, as a supplementary AoE cleaver. So yeah, for her, if you know you need her at the higher accuracy of R12 for some stuff, you can keep her there, otherwise she should go R13. Mifuyu, R12. Ilya should stay R12, R13 just kind of bricks her for C5 next CB, where she just always dies before her second UB, so that's not a good idea to do for her. Saren, completely up to preference, probably just R12 to save resources, but R13 is more raw damage output. Anna, 13-4 all the way. H Shinobu, again, loses accuracy, but I think it's worth going up because of the raw damage and tankiness. Like, for her, tankiness actually matters, since she's not quite as tanky as some of the other cleavers, so she does need that. Esmifuyu, R13, Kokoro, keep R10, and also watch out with levels from now on. Like, beforehand only 12.6 had to watch out, but now I think if yours is like 12.4, just keep in mind that she should go to no touch status until CB19, where she should get 6-star and also be used in loops with X-Chica. So that's why we need to be extra careful about her. Ayumi, either rank 11 or 13.4, but at this point 13.4 is just so good compared to R11, where it's kind of, yeah, it's an almost even trade between TP boost and TP retain, so only those who really need her to have a fast first UB for some kind of very specific comp, I don't think R11 is worth it, so R13 most likely, but if you have her and have built her, you probably know best anyway, so yeah. Grea, she can go up. For her, it's really important to have high TP boost compared to TP retain, since she, in my opinion, is almost entirely a PvP mage, and she does need that first UB out quickly, as well as obviously as many defensive and damage stats as possible. As Kokoro, for her there's a little bit of a change now, since 13.4 does add TP retain. Same as Kokoro, but Kokoro should stay R10 anyway. But for S Kokoro, it's pretty viable in my opinion to go up now if she is used and she does need the extra tank stats to stay alive. So that's not an option in my opinion. Obviously 5-star can more easily stay alive, so for those who have that, it's possible to stay R10, but otherwise for those weird tank timelines, I think R13 is going to be the way she's going to be used for the few more times she does see use. Rin, R10 is her optimal rank. Anyone who's already higher than that should go all the way to 13.4 for TP retain reasons, and the main reason, in my opinion, R10 should be preferred is that there is no dodge RNG, and she is better in terms of TP generation and not much else, but that's all she really cares about. Her heals aren't really higher at rank 13, so R10 is kind of where she should stay, at least until you maybe see, okay, there's an R13 timeline I wouldn't run. So yeah, R10 for her, and otherwise you can go all the way up. Mitsuki, preference R12 or R13, most likely just stay R12 for resource conservation reasons again. Akari, so last CB was the main time, or was one of the first times she really needed to go up in rank from rank 11 for tanking stuff. So most people are either gonna, or most people who used her are either gonna be rank 12 or rank 13 now. If you want to keep her rank 12 for some reason, that is an option, although I think R14 is going to be superior to that. But yeah, if yours is R13, it's going to be R13.4 because there's no change in TP stats. Otherwise, if she's still rank 12, and obviously for those who didn't use her, can just keep her R11 until she's next used. And yeah, I think her next use is, it doesn't really matter which rank she is, but for the one after that, it's gonna be with higher tank stats again, so yeah. Yori, rank 13. H Miyako, rank 13 at this point. I've played with rank 12 a little bit, but for her to be viable, she does need rank 13, I think. The damage output is just absolutely necessary, and the accuracy doesn't really matter unless you're finishing off tanks, but hopefully doesn't come to the point where a H Miyako dodge or miss causes you to lose. So yeah, for R13 it's just better in my opinion. Adisa, R13, and still should stay R12 unless it's like the one single R13 to borrow for everyone in the clan. So yeah, for Anne, R12. 12.4 is preferred for next CB. If yours is 12.5, just watch out. Keep her at level 129 so she doesn't miss any timings. Lu for just Icebox, but well, if you really like her and want to use her, go off, I guess. Rino R13, Susanna R13, Shiori R13, Yo R13, and Suzume R13. Nothing really changed there, all still highest rank. Kasumi, for her for PvP, she can go up to 13.4 now, but CP players should just keep her R11 until we get to Nyaru. Misato, if yours is still R11, she should stay R11, and those who are R12 should stay R12. Pretty much going to be like that for a long time. Nanaka, R13, Nuye Yui, still stay as is, R13 or R11 or R12, depending on where yours is at right now, but yeah, for her, as usual, don't touch until used. Kyaru, R13, Hatsune, R13, Misaki, R13, X-Chika, Icebox, as Suzume, R12, was I think the one that is most used, at least I think so. So she's been used 3 times in CB in an optimal team out, which is kind of cool. And every time I say she's probably not going to get used again, turns out she's going to get used again. So if you want to be absolutely sure yours works, just Icebox her. But other than that, I think this time for sure you can just up her. As Kyaru, rank 12 or rank 13 depending on use case. I think the most likely use case is going to be R13. But yeah, if yours is still R12, can just keep her there until she's actually used. Aoi should stay R12. For her the accuracy actually matters because she is mainly a tank killer, so that's where you need the most accuracy, meaning R13 isn't really appealing for her, R12. Chika, keep as is in my opinion. She's gonna get UE relatively soon, so she might see some use with that, but other than that, basically just keep her as is because she will be used in loops and it's probably better to just keep her safe until then rather than greeting with her now. Maho, yeah, just don't touch until 6-star optimally. I'm not going to give any advice for PvP because I don't think it's worth using her in PvP and kind of risking losing out on some of the better timings with 6-star. Yui, leave as is, same as Maho and Enui and all that. Yuki, R12 still. Yeah, R13 doesn't really give him much, so there's not really much point in upping him, unless, of course, if you have a comp where he consistently boosts himself because his TP after the first TP goes up too fast because of the TP retain. That's obviously a case where it might be worth going up. Also, if you are using him as a backline tank and see him die for some reason, that's another option for upping him, but I don't think it's worth it at the moment. R12 is my pick personally. Obviously, he's gonna get UE, and it's pretty nice, especially in combination with some other stuff like Yo, because his blind now also charms, which is a good combo with Yo, who has the TP drain on her S1 if the unit is charmed, so that's nice. But other than that, he's just still going to be a powerhouse of a TP booster with the nice blind disruption. Kyoka, yeah, R12 or R13, but unlike Kyaru, I think for her it's most likely going to be R12. But yeah, most likely, actually, she's just not going to see much use next CB, unless in a very few comps, or if we get batch 7 before then. H. Misaki, R13 is the way to go, not much else to say. So, that's it from me on rank 13.4. Hope you found this informative and I haven't made too many errors. If you find any, please let me know, and also check out the mobile version and let me know if it works, or more likely let me know if it doesn't work because of some formatting issue. I know there's some issues with Brave browser and Google Sheets, but that's nothing I can do anything about. So yeah, Hope you have a nice day, and goodbye.